Welcome to JasonWhiskyWise. Myself, Jason, today bringing you whiskey review into the Old Pulteney 1989 vintage. And this is one that I actually asked in the 21-year-old review whether you guys would like to see this one as a bonus video, and everyone was saying yes, so today we're going to cover that. Now, I've been away from doing the videos for a little while. It's 28 degrees outside and I was going fishing and at the same time family visiting from the States, and it's just been a really busy, hectic time, but I'm going to resume now back this week into regular uploads. So, we're going to cover the Old Pulteney 1989 vintage. This was a one that won, I think it was Whiskey of the Year in 2016. And since it won that award, it went pretty much sold out all over the UK. In terms of its actual age on this whiskey, it's anywhere between 25 to 26 years of age. It's actually got quite an interesting, because of its vintage and when it was bottled. The actual ABV on this one is 46%, like Old Pulteney's core range, being their 21, the 2017, and the 12, even though two of them are now fading out of the actual line. The actual cask selection in this one is American oak ex-bourbon barrels that had previously held heavily peated Islay whiskey. So it's something kind of unusual. A distillery based all the way in the north near Wick, using these ex-Islay barrels. Now, in terms of the distillery itself, it is the Pulteney Distillery. They are owned by the parent company Inverhouse Distillers Limited, and they are located in the Highlands of Scotland, at the north of Scotland in Wick. Now, in terms of the price point on that whiskey over there, you're looking anywhere around about £150, which was its actual release price here onto the market. And then it went into secondary market here in the UK when it won that award. It went from £150 all the way up now to around about £600, which is absolutely insane. And I've seen it on the auctions go sometimes for even more because of its sheer unique character. But if you guys are in the States and in Canada, you can still find this one. So anyway, in terms of exclusivity, yes, it is exclusive. It, I believe, is 255 bottles globally, but the majority of them are now in the North Americas, so UK got a little bit of stock and then pretty much most of it went abroad. In terms of caramel colouring, well, it's difficult to say. It's a very light whiskey and you can see that by the colour, so I'm going to say no. However, I will check on one of the whiskey websites that do state it from Germany. So without further ado, it's like a straw gold in colour. Let's get straight into the nose. So to begin on the nose for the 89 vintage, this is starting out quite light and delicate. It does have a nice sweet sort of fruitier aspect. Almost like an aromatic sort of spiced oak. There is almost like a dunnage character where you get a little bit of sweetness from a dunnage. A little musky character. A little bit even over there of like a faint sort of grassy smoke, as if you're in a field and you can smell the smoke coming from a distance, but not a heavy one at that too. You get that classic maritime character, which you get with Old Pulteney, but then now it's followed up by more or less fresher fruits. Green apples. I'm getting like a very sweet conference pear. Sultanas. Nectarines. Even something like over there, it's like a creme brulee, a bit of vanilla coming through, and salted almonds just sitting there right in the back of the nose. Gorgeous on the nose. I can't wait to get into the palate next. Slanger. Wow. This is like a step up from a couple of different Old Pulteneys I've tried before. It starts out with that sort of maritime character really coming through, a bit of salted caramel. Then you sway towards almost like a vanilla cream, quite creamy, a malty character, a slight bitter character lingering on the back of that. There is that faint little character of smoke coming through. And then it goes into almost like a chili heat. But it's like coated in milk chocolate, so it's taming it down quite a bit, and it's quite sweet, but then a little bit of spice does follow through with a little bit of heat. Very unusual, but at the same time, very enjoyable. So let's get into the finish next and come to my conclusions on this 89 vintage. It just goes down so easily. Overall, the finish is kind of like a medium full finish. The actual texture for the whiskey was also in that sort of medium full texture. The finish, it develops a little bit, so I'd say maybe more towards a long finish. However, the characters you get now is almost like lime zest, that little bit of citrus coming through with a little bit of bitter character following behind it. There is a little bit of spice, that chili spice is back in here. It then goes into a little bit of like a toffeed apple with a bit of sweetness. And that sort of spiced oak is just holding off, but it's maybe now more of a polished oak. It's a bit more sweeter and rounded. but at the same time, not drying the palate as you would expect with something quite older from Old Pulteney. Really interesting and very, very pleasant. The actual smoke, though, on the finish completely fades off and you don't really get it. So, my conclusions, I'm giving it a 93 out of 100. My reason behind that is I think overall it's just a very well-balanced bottle from Old Pulteney. I'm going to be interested to see some of these other vintage bottlings. I believe there's a 1990, there's a 92, I'm definitely buying that one. But in terms of the money aspect, £150, I'd say anywhere I'd pay happily up to £200. After that, I wouldn't really see it as its worth in its what it is. However, overall, the texture, the complexity behind this whiskey, it does have that. It's got a little bit of smoky character with that maritime, that chili heat that follows through, and a lot of sweeter characters with apples, green apples, and this fresher character and approach, which I think was very refreshing. Like a hot day like it is, 28 degrees here in London, it just goes down a charm. So on that note, Old Pulteney, 1989, 93 out of 100. Anything higher than £200, that rating, if I did see it and that was the last price, I wouldn't pay it. But that's my opinion. Let me know if you've tried it down below in the comment section below. And also let me know if you find it near your local area, if you're in the North Americas, or even here in the UK or Spain, wherever you guys are. So on that note, this has been me, JasonWhiskyWise. If you have enjoyed, drop it a thumbs up. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. And also be sure to check out some of the other Old Pulteney videos I'll leave on the screen. But this is me, JasonWhiskyWise, and I'll catch you all for the next video. Sláinte.